Hey, Marion, Roy. Oh, I'm gonna change my name.
How are you doing this evening?
I am fantastic.
I'm so glad to hear it, Dan. Nice to see you.
I just had to change my wife's name.
Sharing is caring.
That's right. It's the first time she'd used Zoom was the other night for a meeting. And it was a big thing having to change my name to her name.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
And Roy's talking to himself.
I can see that. There he is. There's Sharon. I know Sharon. Hello.
Hi, Sharon. I know you too.
I'm sure you do.
Chat box comes in on the side, and sometimes it comes in right on the middle. What are you going to do about that?
You want to be in the middle? You always go pin video.
Yeah, I can do that. But usually if I play around with the views,
Oh, yeah.
I can get something. Sharon Teed is the host now. Woo! So exit full screen, and then, okay, got it. Exit full screen, and then bring it up again, and it just shifts over to the side. We are learning so much about Zoom these days.
Yes, that's for sure.
I was at a meeting the other day with the Ottawa Toastmasters, and man, were they slick. They had online polls created so that everyone could do their little evaluations and send them directly to the speakers.
Wow.
Just 5 questions of what went well, what did you enjoy most, what could be improved, what suggestions do you have, what other comments would you like to make? And it was all prepared, and it just went straight to the speaker. They had a poll with the names of all the table topic speakers, and just click your favorite, and off it went.
Wow, somebody's really doing their stuff. We're trying to figure that out, the whole...
Yeah, it's beyond my level at this point. And they had us in breakout rooms for break time, so that they had 21, 22 people online. So they split us into 5 groups. So each group was just 3 or 4, so we could actually talk to each other.
Marion, can you check your presentation?
I would love to.
Yeah, just there's Sharon. Oh, so now you can hear me, huh?
Now I can hear you. Let me share a screen. And slideshow. Slideshow.
Okay, great. Okay.
Slideshow. From the beginning.
Perfect.
No, it's not perfect. Now it's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, good.
So that one's good.
Okay.
I had to slap my fingers to stop myself from fiddling with it and fiddling with it and fiddling with it. Because there's always just one more little thing that you can tweak, you know?
Always a little thing that you can learn extra, for sure.
There's always one little thing in it that could be improved. There's always one more little... And at a certain point, you just have to push yourself away from the keyboard and say, enough.
Percy, which club are you from?
Bell's Corners Toastmasters.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which used to be called Context.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. We had contests there.
Yes.
Are you still meeting at the Legions?
Zoom. We're hoping to get back to our Legion someday, but
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this point,
Right.
the Legion is opening right now afternoons, 4 days a week, but not evenings,
Not evening.
not anymore. So, but this is their reopening plan, is they're starting just 4 days a week in the afternoons to see how they can handle it.
I see we have Ken.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great that you're here, Ken.
Thank you, sir.
We need to get you a camera. Or the club should get you a camera.
My camera's there. I just have to get it working.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm just playing with my lights a bit here. Oh, that's better. There's a face hiding there. That's
Good.
quite a row of books behind you, Dan.
Yeah, when we built the house 26 years ago, this is in the basement. My wife had 40 cases of books. So the first thing after the house was built was to finish the library. And of course, you're not seeing them all
No.
because it goes ceiling to floor. And then on the other side, it's quite extensive also. But we're both readers, and the kids were brought up as readers also.
Very good. Yeah, nice.
I've tried to, and 2 of the kids are readers, but the third one just says, not really interested.
Happens.
And we figure the way to turn her into a total illiterate is to make an issue of it.
That's what'll happen.
You'll push back. Yep.
So we are not making a big issue of it. Every now and then we might say, oh, mention a book that we've read that we found interesting, but not push it.
That's it. Our youngest, the baby, when she was 3 years old, she would go running around the house. Becky, what's wrong? And she, I have to go to the bathroom. I don't have a book. And you'd see her sitting on the toilet with the book upside down, but
Oh
she
my.
had to have a book.
Okay, well, she learns it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she has a house of books also, and she's an author, so she's doing well.
Oh, good for her. What has she written?
A lot of sci-fi, mostly short stories. She's also a co-editor of an online magazine.
That's wonderful.
Alliteration Inc., I think is what it's called.
Very nice title.
Yeah, they've been at it now for 1.5 years, I think. There was 5 like-minded young women, and they figured if they all invested about $1,000 a year, they could run it for a year. So it's their hobby.
That's great.
Yeah, it is.
There are much worse things you could be doing with your time.
Oh, for sure.
I'm also a co-author.
Oh,
I've been-
really?
Yeah, I've been with an American firm for about 10 years. And every time she puts out a book, she asks us all if we'll put something in for her. And we do. And all the profits go towards charities.
Oh, that's wonderful,
So
Sharon.
we don't get anything out of it except that we get published.
You get the joy of knowing that somebody's reading your words.
I had an email from someone in England who had bought one of her books, their gratitude books. And she emailed me to tell me how great she thought my story was, which merely made me feel good.
That's
That's
good.
what you get out of it.
Still writing.
Excellent.
Tony!
There's Tony. There's a familiar face. I don't think I've met Percy before.
I'm from Limestone City in Kingston, Ontario.
Ah,
Wow.
nice to meet you, Percy.
I saw the email come out last night,
Mhm.
and because it's about pathways, and it's because it's been a adventure
Yes.
for our club, and I thought it would be worthwhile.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
It's been an adventure for more than one club. This is about the 15th or 16th club I've come to, or one of these sessions that I've come to do.
Okay.
So, and the last one was multiple clubs as well. It was a whole area.
Wow.
Since you've got the Zoom, you can take advantage of it.
So it makes life a lot more interesting.
It adds its own distinct flavor, doesn't it?
And Marion, because you were in Ottawa the other evening, and the reason why you had so many features of Zoom is because most of them are government employees, and we paid for most of their training.
Mm-hmm.
Some do.
Well, I'm retired, so nobody pays for my training anymore.
Same with me there, Marion.
That's okay.
Nobody graduates from self-improvement.
That's
Exactly.
right. I work for Transport Canada. They had a Toastmasters club downtown about the whole time I was in Toastmasters, but unfortunately I didn't work at downtown. I worked at the airport. So I was never able to join that one.
Yeah.
But you're right, they did pick it up. They called it personal training or personal improvement.
Mhm.
And they got it approved.
I worked for Canada School Public Service, and I was on the road at least 1 week in 4 throughout my entire career. So I didn't even set foot in a Toastmaster club until 6 months before I was retiring.
Really.
Wow.
I couldn't commit to outside activities. I never knew when I was going to be home, when I was going to be gone. And sometimes I'd get, my boss would come in at 2 p.m. saying, "Can you pack tonight? Can you be in Winnipeg tomorrow morning?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can, but it makes doing anything else a little dicey.
Good. Tony, do you have sound tonight?
I believe I do.
You do?
Can you hear me okay?
Wow.
Yeah. I got my earplugs on.
Amazing, because he had turned it down there. We had to have him, we see the picture, then we had to have him call in with cell phone. That's excellent.
Yeah. Money well spent.
I guess, eh?
Yeah. Only like $38 or something like that. And so got its own microphone and everything. So yeah.
Same type I've got, and about the same price range.
Yeah.
I had to buy a new computer. But I stopped using the video, right? So video links quit. It lost most of its memory. So after the third meeting, I went and bought a new computer.
Oh goodness.
You're so dedicated, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken's still fighting with his picture, but he's getting there. We can hear him now, and he can hear us, so that's good.
I'll get my next door 16-year-old tech wizard in here and get this hooked up eventually.
Well, welcome, Joyce. Where are you from?
I'm from the Cat Valley Toastmasters in Kingston, Ontario.
Ah, excellent. Which Toastmasters in Kingston?
It's the Cat Valley, Cataraqui Valley Toastmasters.
Okay, right. Excellent. So we've got so far 2 people from Kingston. Excellent.
I started off in Cat Valley 20 years ago.
Theoretically, Roy, we have 2 or 3 from Smith Falls. Depends on how you want to quantify them.
Outskirts or downtown?
Well, Ken, they're not inside yet. They haven't, or maybe they have. Hold on. Let me double check. No.
Well,
So-
I'm from 2 clubs, so
Which are your 2 clubs, Sharon?
I'm VP Education with Above and Beyond Toastmasters, and I'm VP Public Relations with the Carleton Place Toastmasters.
You're good.
I don't think I have been off an executive since the first 5 months that I had joined Toastmasters 4 years ago.
That's normal. In other words, you looked at somebody.
Yeah.
You smiled.
Usually they don't show up for the election meeting, and this is how they get on the board at our club.
Oh, that's an even better idea. We elected a president like that one year.
I only got on because I suggested something to somebody who asked me to join Toastmasters about a position of what that wasn't covered. And I said, well, why don't you join the executive meeting and tell us about your feelings? And the next thing you know, that was it. I've been on the executive ever since.
Sucker.
Yeah, I've been on the executive every year as well. One, sometimes two, sometimes acting in a third, depending on what's been happening. Last year when Rick started getting ill, he couldn't make it anymore, and I stepped in as acting VP Ed. Oh, I wasn't supposed to because I was president and they're supposed to be separate positions, but
Work's got to get done.
work's still got to get done and nobody else's hand was going up into the air.
It sucks to be responsible.
But this year I'm Vice President of Education, my third term there, and my second term as Vice President of Public Relations, as well as past president. So it keeps me busy. It's like having a life.
That's right.
I only wish I had it when I was a working person. I lived Montreal and Toronto and never heard about Toastmasters till I moved outside of Ottawa.
Barb, we're in Montreal.
I worked downtown. I lived in Lachine and I worked downtown.
Okay.
In Toronto, I lived in Scarborough and I worked downtown. So.
Hey, beauty. Penny's coming on.
There's Penny.
Yay.
I've got two other members of clubs in Ottawa said they were coming on as well tonight.
It's interesting. You look around your group, and you seem to, or at least I can sort of suggest that we're always preaching to the choir. We very seldom get people who are not involved and or understand what's going on. It's crazy.
Oh, there's Lamali. She's with my club. Hello, Lamali.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Another proud member of Bell's Corners Toastmasters.
Yay.
And a new member. Lamali, tell them how long you've been with Toastmasters.
Just about 2-3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
All right. Congratulations and welcome up.
Thank you.
Have you started the path yet?
No, I haven't. So tonight I'm going to learn all about it, I guess.
Oh, I hope so.
I had arranged with Lamali to give her a one-on-one briefing on the pathways, and then this came up, and I thought, hey, want to come join the party?
Absolutely. That's great. Yeah.
Hear other people's questions as well. Where are your little girls tonight, Lamali?
Oh, she's just, I think she's going to help her dad clean up the house.
Oh, good idea. Good idea. Send them off to do chores.
Yeah.
I like that.
Where's Penny?
Hi, Penny.
Hey, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny.
Oh, I know some faces on here. Look at that.
Amazing, eh?
It is.
And Ken's in the dark again.
I've been in the dark for a long while.
He has been.
Thanks, Penny.
Did you get your surgery yet, Ken? Or not?
It's on next Monday.
Next Monday.
Yeah.
Oh. Trying times.
That's a cataract, by the way, for anybody who's concerned in the group.
Yeah, it was kind of quiet, so they were wondering what it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was this lull of scared. Is he gonna
You're
get
too
under the
polite
knife?
to ask.
Right. Hate to ask.
I love to believe that.
So you think it'll bring the vision back a bit, Ken?
What it'll do, Dan, currently right now, if anybody's had a cataract knows that it just blackens the eye. It just makes you cannot function out of the eye. I'm never going to get full vision back because macular degeneration doesn't permit that. But certainly what it'll do is it'll remove the interference from using what little vision I did have prior to it being there. So yeah, I'll be back to about 60%, maybe 45 to 60%.
Not bad.
Oh
So
yeah, that's
blobs with features.
yeah. I'm bumping along now. I mean, but I might almost be a little more independent going forward after this. So that'll be fun.
That'll be great. And Penny, did you get my evaluation and stuff?
I saw it, but I have not read it yet.
Perfect. That's okay. It's not tonight. That's tomorrow night.
I know, but you should be practicing your speech tonight instead of being on this channel.
So give me a bit of leeway tomorrow then, eh?
I
won't
will.
be as tough on you tomorrow.
By the way, I thought I was on your agenda for tomorrow also. No?
I'll know.
I thought you were giving an education. Didn't they confirm that?
Well, I don't know. I didn't hear anything, so I assume it's going to be an education.
Yeah.
Catherine sent out, I'm just reading the email, it says, we have an educational presentation by Roy Vandermo.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're down here. It doesn't say anything. I guess you're not a member anymore, so they can't sign you up, right?
Right. Okay.
She'll send you a link, I'm sure, to get on.
Yeah, okay.
I'll yell at her tonight or tomorrow to do that.
Yeah, you give two links, right? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
We have to split the meeting. Sometimes we've been able to squeeze it into one, depending on how many people are talking. We get away with one session, but for the most part, yeah, we've got a double sign up or sign in, I should say.
Joyce had to leave.
Sorry, I have an emergency. It's unforeseen, so I will have to leave. Is this meeting recorded?
I will record it, Joyce.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it would be great to have this recorded because it's an important meeting. As VP Ed, I really want to have this work.
Yeah. Joyce,
Okay.
why don't
Good luck.
you,
Good luck, Joyce.
Joyce, why don't you put in your email in the chat so I can record that, and I can send you the recording. Okay.
Thank you very much.
One chance.
Okay. Take care.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
And then there were 9.
The Brady Bunch. How cute.
Good, Penny.
You got to make it into a song, Ken. You just got to.
I know you. If it can't be sung, Penny doesn't play.
And I'm a grandmother now, so I can sing even stupider songs.
That's right. Congratulations.
A grandmother.
A grandma, yes.
Yeah.
He's 12 weeks old.
Ooh.
Yes,
Have you been able to cuddle yet?
I have. I had him overnight the other night.
Because we have a new grandma in our group, and her son is being paranoid enough that she is only allowed masked distance visits with the baby so far. At
Write
12
him out of
weeks
the will.
old. Mm.
Write
I'm
him out.
I'm more paranoid than the other side of the family, so I'm the one protecting this little guy, and it's like, wow, okay. So the parents are going grocery shopping, and I'm not even like. What do you do?
Yeah, I have one friend who faithfully wipes down every piece of groceries he brings into the house with disinfectant wipes before he puts them in his cupboards.
The virus is dead in 72 hours.
Well,
Just don't eat it.
just don't eat the boxes. Yeah, don't lick the cans.
Quit
Well,
licking.
stop that. Yeah.
It makes him feel happier. Not going to try and tell him not to do it.
Oh, it's a useless argument.
No,
You might as well talk to a wall.
I just nod solemnly. Oh, Indra. Hello, Indra. This is the other person from Ottawa I was saying was likely to be coming.
Okay.
Hello, Marion.
Hello, Indra.
Thank you for inviting me.
Would you like to introduce yourself to these nice people?
Yes, sure, yes. My name is Indra Nadaraja. I'm from the Ottawa community.
Yeah.
This is Toastmaster. It's almost 4 months I joined the Toastmaster Club. Thank you so much. Invite me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
4 months. So you joined during COVID. Wow.
Yes, only 1 month with my group in February.
Oh.
Yes.
We have some members that have never been to a full meeting. They joined while they're on Zoom, and
Yes.
it's been good for them.
Lamali's joined while we've been on Zoom.
Yes.
And Above and Beyond has one member who's only been on Zoom with us, never met us otherwise.
Where, Indra, if I may ask, or Lamali too, because you're new members, how did you know about Toastmasters? Were you introduced? Were you looking for it, or what?
Actually, from my workplace, I found one of the member, the Joe Creighton. He's in Toastmaster. Then before is that Toastmaster club in our company, that's I heard. I newly joined the company too. Not new, like almost year coming. Then after I found it, they had a Toastmaster club in outside, no more inside the company. Then I went, yes.
Okay.
I heard about Toastmaster. This is the chance of first time I joined.
Okay, good. Lamali, how did you get to know Toastmasters?
Yes, I'm new in Canada about 11 months now. So I've been looking to connect with the community, and I knew about Toastmasters, and I thought it might be a good opportunity for me to make friends and learn something at the same time.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and you definitely will. So we're going to start in about 1 hour, or 1 minute, not 1 hour.
Whoops.
1 minute. And I will report this, right, Marion? This particular presentation. Let me see. Is there anybody wanting to come in? No, I don't think so. Yeah. And if you have any questions, you go ahead and put it in the group chat, and I'll try to monitor that for Marion as well. And then we can have a very good meeting. I think the presentation is about 30 minutes or 35 minutes, but It's Zoom, so depending on your time frame, we can always make it a little bit longer if you want by asking lots of questions. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. Hold on now. Let me just let me go into my phone if I can. So on October 25th, 2017, a Pathways ambassador visited Marion's home club, and she asked for volunteers to become Pathways guides. Marion felt her hand raising up and her mouth opening to say, I
Okay.
would love to. That day changed her life for the next 3 years. Marion has acted as a pathway guide to 15 clubs in Ontario and in India, and she has even gone to people's homes to give them one-on-one tutoring in pathways. So she's absolutely an expert. And the reason why she's an expert, because she has completed 2 paths, the presentation mastery pathway and the engaging humor pathway. So today, or this evening, Marion will be giving us an overview of pathways, and especially for the VP of Eds here, and also presidents, and maybe some other executives, give us a bit of insight in terms of being a base camp manager. I will record the meeting, and you go ahead, Marion, in terms of
Much more emphasis on speech evaluations, clearer evaluations, more meaningful evaluations, and on mentoring being part of every path. My personal experience, I have been slower than some people on pathways, and I have been faster than some people on pathways, but we all go through pathways at our own speed. We have one member in our club, many of you know Mr. Rick Murphy, has completed 7 pathways in 2 years. I've completed 2 pathways in 2 years. My darling husband, Michael, who sits by my side at every meeting, has completed an icebreaker in 2 years. We do the program at the speed that works for us. As I said, legacy program, you had 2 streams to choose from. You had leadership or you had communications. Now leadership and communications both are woven into every single one of the Pathways learning paths. And we have 11 different paths here to choose from. If you don't know where to start, presentation mastery is a good basic pathway because it talks about presentation skills, which is what most of us are here to do. But you can start wherever you wish. You can start 1 pathway at a time, or some people like to have 2 pathways on the go. That is totally your choice. All the pathways are built around 5 specific core competencies. They all include public speaking as a core competency, competency number 1, and they all include building confidence as a competency, and that's number 5. But the other ones, interpersonal communication, strategic leadership, and management, are present to more or less of a degree in certain pathways. For example, if you look at the engaging humor, it only talks about public speaking and confidence. It does not try to build up your leadership or management skills. Part of what you want to do, probably, when you're picking your first pathway is look at the core competencies and think, which of these competencies am I trying to develop? If you're trying to develop management as a competency, then you might want to look at the team collaboration path. If that is your wish, then strategic relationships isn't going to do it for you, because strategic relationships doesn't focus on management. It focuses on communication and leadership. Look at the core competencies, match them to your paths, and start thinking about which pathway is the best one for you to be on. It all depends on your personal goals. Once you pick a pathway, every path is set up in the same manner. There are 6 levels. Level 1 to every pathway is mastering fundamentals. We start with an icebreaker, which is a 4 to 6 minute speech in which we introduce ourselves to the rest of the group. The next project is more than one speech. Evaluation and feedback. You give a speech, you get feedback on the speech, you give the speech again to show that you can apply your feedback, and you act as a speech evaluator for somebody else. When you've done all of that, you're ready to move on to the next project. We do it like this because we want to get people on their feet right away, talking, hence the icebreaker, and we want to get people used to working with feedback, hence the evaluation and feedback project. Third thing is research and present about absolutely anything. And this is because we want to get people used to researching and building a speech with a good introduction, body, and conclusion. Then in level 2, there's an emphasis on learning styles. 3, increase your knowledge. 4, you're building your skills. At 5, you're starting to demonstrate what you can do. And the last level doesn't have a number, but it's called path completion. And this is where you share your learning. What have you figured out about yourself or about the world on this pathway? And you share this with your fellow club members. And then you click on complete, and you are done the level. As I said, some people can go through this in 2 months. Some people will take 2 years. For me, it takes about a year. It's set up this way to follow principles of adult learning. We start off with being able to remember things. Can we remember the basics? Then being able to understand. Once you understand, you can apply. Once you can apply, you can analyze. Once you can analyze, you can evaluate others. And once you can evaluate, you can create. And this is principles of adult learning, which are built into the new pathway system. Sound like fun? I'm not getting any thumbs up here. In order to get started, you have to stop. The first thing you need to do is Google the instructions on how to disable your pop-up blocker, because Toastmasters runs on a technique called pop-ups. Most people hate pop-ups because that's what sends ads flying into your screen all the time. You can disable the pop-up blocker just for this site, and I can say that I've never seen an outside ad come up on it, even with the pop-up blocker disabled. But you have to do this. Each browser has a slightly different way of doing it, so Google the instructions for your browser, and then you should be able to get it to start working. Log in. Most of us have this website memorized. www.toastmasters.org. My computer knows this one very well. The first time you log in, you have to set up a password and all that good stuff. But once you have that, you log in and you get an entry page that looks something like this. And you click right here where it says Pathways. Once you get there, you get a lot of choices. Toastmasters is big on learning. So the first choice that you have is learn more. Do you want to learn more about pathways? Do you want to go to a start page? Do you want to get some frequently asked questions, the FAQ page. If you're here just to choose a path, there's a shortcut for you. If you want to know what are the updates, what's changed lately, you can click there. There's a tool here called the Navigator. And this, I think, is got to be one of the most underused resources that we have right now in Toastmasters. Because the Navigator will tell you about good speaking techniques. We'll tell you about what are all those meeting roles that people are gabbling on about. We'll tell you about contests and how they work and other opportunities to speak. We'll tell you a little bit about the executive. It'll really give you the whole idea of what is this whole Toastmasters thing and how can I make sense of it. And there'll be a list of accessible materials, as I said. What most of us choose right here is go to Basecamp. That's where you spend most of your time as a Toastmaster. When you get to Basecamp, you'll see that there are 3 separate doorways here. Once again, repetition's built in. You can go to choose your pathway. You can go to access Basecamp. Or another stop on the route, you can go to the Navigator. The first thing that you're going to have to do if you're going to be in Pathways is you're going to have to choose your path. Any member of the executive can choose a path for another member. This is set up like this because not everybody has access to computers. So as a Vice President of Education, I have a couple of times gone in and helped other members choose a pathway. So you have an option here, choose a path for another member, or just continue on to path selection. When you hit choose your path, you'll be asked 3 questions. Got to think about these. First of all, what language do you want this in? All of Pathways is written in English originally. And because it's a worldwide organization, it's being translated. Every day, fresh bits of it are coming out in more and more languages. So go to Toastmasters International, find out the languages that you have available to you if this is something you're interested in. Most of it's just select English. Second big question, do you want to work online or do you want your materials in print? You can still get the booklets that we used to get. You can get a booklet for each pathway and it will be mailed to you. It doesn't have everything in it that the online has in it because the online has videos and you can't put a video in a book, but it has a good selection of printed materials if that's what you want. Not every pathway is available in print, but they are all available online. Third question you have to answer is, do you want to view the path options, look at a quick description of the 11 paths, or do you want to take an online assessment? The online assessment will ask you a series of questions to try and judge your interests and your motivation, and will suggest paths for you. You can skip that. You can just say, nah, I want this one. Whatever the process you go through, the first step is choosing your pathway. Once you have chosen your pathway and you're coming in, you don't need this door anymore. You're going to go through door number 2 and go to Basecamp. When you are in Basecamp, you will find a home page, and I don't know if they could have found a smaller font for this. I have to blow it up on my screen. Maybe my eyes are getting old even with the bifocals here, but I have trouble reading it. But what you have in your Basecamp, you have your education transcript. This tells you all the steps that you've already taken. If you're just starting in Pathways, this is going to be blank. For me, this shows the 2 paths I've already finished, plus my guide training. In Basecamp, you have blank speech evaluations for every single speech that is available on every single pathway, and they're arranged alphabetically. There is even a blank one in case you do what I do sometimes. Sometimes I give a speech and I'm not too sure where it's going to fit in the pathway. So there's a generic evaluation form that you can use. Say, okay, yeah, I'll figure that one out later where I'm going to slot it in. And once again, Toastmasters is big on learning. They have tutorials on absolutely every aspect right there on your homepage. You have your paths and learning. Because this is mine, you can see engaging humor is there. The pathways guide is there. And my story collection is there, which I needed for one of my pathways. Optional. You may or may not go into the ones over here. My feedback. You can use this portal to request feedback from club members or to give feedback to club members. You can look at badges, which list your many and multitudinous achievements. And if you want to, you can save documents on this page. You don't have to. There's a folder there if you want to keep things organized. What most of us will be doing is going to our path, finding the open curriculum, and clicking on there. Your first page will look something like this. It's a navigation screen. It shows you, just in case this is the first time you've ever worked with an online program, it'll show you how to navigate. What I tend to do is click down here and select to move to another section, and that gives me all the materials that are available to me in this module. I've got my navigation screen, an introduction to what is the project, specifically spelled out using little words. What is my assignment? What do I have to do? Absolutely crucial. Assess your skills before. You have to go there and you have to fill this in, or the module is never going to register as finished. There's information, there's videos, there's a lot of rich material here. You can mine it to the degree that you feel you need to. Prepare and present tells you exactly what you are doing. What is your speech? What is your project for this particular step on the pathway? After your speech, follow up, review. After your speech, absolutely crucial, once again. Assess your skills before and assess your skills after. If you have not filled both of these in, the project won't close. And once again, in a second place, just in case you don't want to go for the evaluations, on the first spot that I showed you, you click here and you have your speech evaluation that you can send to your evaluator. So all of these are very good materials. All of these, it's good to read them through, but they're four that are absolutely critical. Assess your skills, prepare and present, assess your skills after, and your evaluation. You have to have those four at a minimum. This is what the assess your skills before screen looks like. It's 5 questions. Rate yourself on your current ability, 1 to 5. 1, pretty poor. 5, Ralph Smith, you can do it better. And submit those and then start your project. Same with afterwards. They'll be exactly the same questions, exactly the same rating scale. And this is for your benefit, not for anybody else's, so that you can look at it and you can see how much you think you have learned on the project. That's what it's all about there. You have the projects. Level 1 has the icebreaker. As I mentioned, has the evaluation and feedback, which is 2 speeches plus giving feedback to somebody else. The research and presenting speech. But when you're doing that, you're not done. You have a fourth button at the bottom that you have to click that says level 1 completion. You launch that, and then you will be able to see your certificate. Then you've finished the level. Until you hit the level 1 completion, level 2 completion, 3, 4, you're not done the level. And this is a place where a lot of members have gotten tangled up because they wouldn't understand why they couldn't get into their next level yet. And that's what they'd forgotten to do. Your levels have to be approved by a base camp manager. You all know who your 3 base camp managers are? It's your president, or your vice president of education, or your secretary. Any of them can come in as base camp manager and do the approval. They have to log in the same way you did, but when they get to access, they have a box that comes up that's available to them. Log in as the base camp manager, and they will click that. And they will look here to see, are there any pending requests? If they get pending requests, they simply click them to say approved. And then you're halfway through the approval process. Because then the base camp manager also has to go back to the home page and go through Leadership Central and Club Central and as we did before, log in Club Central that you've done this level and you've completed it. Once you've completed it, then a badge shows up. And once you've completed all the levels and completed a pathway, a lovely certificate shows up. So like I said, the badges, they're there to show what you've achieved. When I took this screenshot, I finished my presentation mastery. I hadn't quite finished my engaging humor, but my engaging humor was in process. So I had 11 total badges. Evaluations have always been a crucial part of the Toastmasters experience because we learn through peer coaching. And evaluations are a big part of the peer coaching that we do. We have evaluation forms that have been personalized for every single speech now. So at the top you see it doesn't just say evaluation form, but it says evaluation form for the icebreaker. And it tells you the length that the speech should be. And the front page of it has 3 big blocks. What did you do really, really well? What did you excel at? You may want to work on, and if you wanted to push yourself out of your comfort zone, what would you do? And this in itself can be a complete evaluation. Then we get onto the second page where there's a large number of factors that are related to the project you're working on. And they're all, once again, on a sliding scale from 5 to 1, where 1, you could definitely use some improvement, and 5, once again, Ralph Smedley couldn't do any better. And you have room here for comments. What I like about these evaluations is not only does it do this, but it defines the scales for each of these. As we do in contests, where we have definitions of the scores that we get and the ranges that we use. So you know if you're at a 3 level, You're using your tone, your speed, and your volume as a tool, but you're not excelling at it yet, and you're certainly far from perfect. Most people would not be getting 5s most of the time. International contests, you would see people getting up there in the 5s. Most of us, we have room for improvement. As I said, you've got 2 different places where you can get these evaluation forms. They are available in the materials that you have for each level on your path, and they are available in your home page, your base camp, listed alphabetically under the speech evaluations. There we go. I'm blowing them up a bit here because, like I said, I find it challenging to read font this small. What we do in our club is we ask people to send the evaluator a copy of the evaluation to read so that they know what they're looking for. And then you get the choice whether or not to register your evaluations. People give them to you. What do you do with them? Well, a couple of good reasons to register them. And the first one is, frankly, so you can find them again. If your filing system's like mine, it's more of a filing system than a filing system. The second reason is that in a small club, it's easy for the base camp manager to remember. If you've only got 5 or 6 members active, oh yeah, I remember you did those 3 speeches. The club that I was visiting the other day had 32 members. The base camp manager cannot possibly be expected to remember 32 members who's done a speech when. So for your base camp manager, it's good to register your evaluations on your base camp so that the base camp manager can look and say, oh yeah, right, that was that speech about postage stamps. Got it. I remember now. Basecamp also has other helpful hints. They have tutorials. They have resources. They have a video that'll take you through the Basecamp homepage, probably better than I just did. Has suggested learning for you. For me, it wants me to get more into the mentoring program. Those tutorials have been really well done. I've looked at several of them. They're clear, they're helpful, they're a good resource. Another place where we have a good resource, our very own District 61 website. I don't know how many of you go there on a regular basis. I certainly do. If you click here on the resources side, which is the last tab on the right, once again, it's tiny, but we do what we can with it. You will find there are tutorials on every aspect of pathways have been written and posted here. Hours and hours of them. And they're very well done with screenshots so you can see what you're doing, where you're going. And you have me. I will answer any question I can. This is my email that is on the screen. I have been in the guiding business for 3 and a bit years now, and I intend to stay in the guiding business for as long as I'm drawing breath. So if you have questions or challenges or things that are having you scratching your head or pulling out your hair, give me an email and I will hunt it down till I find the answer for you. At this point, Mr. Moderator, can we open the floor to questions, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I am going to ask everybody to actually unmute if you can. And if I have muted you, I will definitely unmute you. Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation, Marion. I have to admit, though, that unfortunately your voice and the recording will prove that, I guess, but your voice goes in and out for most of your presentation. So I don't know the quality of the recording is going to be 100%, but well, we'll ask. We'll open the floor for questions, and then we'll if you can answer them, that will be great. So let me just see. Any questions? I tried to unmute everybody, so.
Just one, Marion, could you go back to your email address, please?
Yep.
I just found the pen, found the paper, started writing it down. Thank you.
Marion,
Yes,
Karen has a question.
Karen.
For the wonderful presentation. Wondering about the new to being the Space Camp manager as president of our club in Manitic. I've gone through and went through the base camp to the pending request and approved. And then when I tried to go through Leadership Central, Club Central, to complete that two-step process, it told me, I know I've got to learn how to take screenshots, but it basically could not process them. So I'm wondering what am I doing?
What is your position? What is your position in the executive?
President.
You should have access to that then.
It's not that I didn't have access. I got to the point where yes, go through which member in Club Central, yes, which path, yes, which level, and what it is, and I'm doing all the options there, and then I'm pressing submit, and then it comes up with a notification that the submission couldn't been completed, and it doesn't say why. So it's a prompt that's useless through Toastmasters, because I don't know why it didn't work, and it doesn't send me back to the section or a star that you need to fill something else, or does there need to be time between pending their request and base camp to when you do Club Central?
No, I've done them seconds apart.
Okay.
So get on to Toastmasters International, one Karen, and ask them what's going on.
Go to where?
Toastmasters International.
Okay, you keep cutting out again. Okay, so I'll call them again.
Okay, anybody else with any questions? Actually, one of the things that I've noticed is that the value of registering your evaluations. I have to admit, I sometimes totally forget to actually register my evaluations, but that's a good rationale in terms of so that the base camp manager can actually track not only my evaluations but the type of speeches that I've given. So it makes sense. Thank you. That was very good.
Roy, it's Ken.
Yes.
For
Yes.
the lady who just could not complete the transaction, maybe she might want to just go back to Leadership Central, Club Central, check her roster to make sure that the individual involved is in fact showing up so that they can. That's a small part. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we did, because I was actually part of that search when Karen and I actually tried to figure it out. Eventually, the person was approved, but the process was kind of
tortuous.
Tortuous, yeah, confusing, because it seems that Basecamp was not linked with Leadership Central or Leadership Central.
It's not.
Okay, so it actually, so you can actually approve speeches or levels outside Leadership Central, just strictly through Basecamp then.
But it doesn't show up as completed till you put it through Basecamp as well.
Right. That's, yes. Okay, great. Yeah, I think I think we figured it out, but
No, I'd like to
Karen.
follow up. No, it's not sorted out. I don't see that it, when I went back in afterwards to see that Club Central recognized any of it. Is there another way to look at it in a different format to see that it's been processed?
Well, you have to process it twice.
Yes. So Basecamp's done for both of these members, both requests, and Club Central both. I thought, well, maybe I've done something different, but both members, the Club Central aspect, multiple tries, 2 or 3 tries each, submission not approved.
Get onto the helpline at Toastmasters International.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's not you.
Oh,
Thank you.
One problem we had in our club was that the base camp managers didn't know to look in the base camp. So what we do now is we send an email to the VP Ed or the president saying, would you please go in and approve this?
That's funny because my emails come automatically from Toastmasters Basecamp, and when I follow the link, oh, well, I've been getting emails that someone submitted a request, and when I follow the link that's in the email to me from Toastmasters, it sends me directly to Basecamp.
We don't get that.
No.
We've never had that.
But Marion, but when a person finishes a level, that person gets notification from Basecamp though that you have. They say congratulations, you are completed this level. Would that message not being relayed then automatically to the VP of Education?
Apparently not. Not always.
All right.
No, I don't get them.
You don't get them. So how?
No, it goes to the person who is registered as the primary for the club. And she always emails me and says, Sharon, you better go in and see. You have a couple of members that need to be approved.
All right. So then clarify then who is the primary for the club? Is that going to be the president or is that going to be the VP of Ed who's responsible really for, managing Basecamp?
Well, I've actually gone into Toastmasters and called them. And they said that, yes, I'm registered as VP Ed, but that the person who first registered the club is the contact.
Makes no difference.
So what am I supposed to do?
Makes no difference.
No, that doesn't make any.
But I'm not getting the email from them that say approve them.
This has been a big challenge for a lot of clubs, is the chain of communication, because certain parts of Toastmasters are not talking to other parts of Toastmasters. Right. And we have to be cognizant of where those problems are with our particular clubs and take manual steps to fill them in and send feedback to Toastmasters International on how we'd like the system to work.
Well, I think, I have to be critical on that because Toastmasters has been in existence since 2017. It's not a beta anymore. It is now really a full-blown application. So I would imagine that if I were to finish a level, that my manager, my Basecamp managers, president, vice president, and secretary should be notified, of the particular completion of my level. I get the notification, and it's not up to me to notify my Basecamp managers or maybe it is, I don't know. But let us know whether we need to do that so that they can actually approve.
This is something you have to discuss in your club. Like, I know in my club as VP Ed, I do get copies of those notifications.
Okay.
I've never got them.
So do I.
And some people do, some people don't. And I don't know why.
And I know it's only one person in my club that gets them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and it's not the president or the secretary or me.
Oh.
So I go in on a regular basis and just check to see if there's anything needed to approve.
So do I. So do I. But it's a little bit annoying
Yeah.
to know that this person who has nothing to do with the base camp, except that she's a member, gets the notifications, and then she is not as nice as she could be and saying to me, why haven't you approved of this person?
Oh,
Well,
that,
there's got to
Karen.
be something somewhere at Toastmasters International where you can change that.
Karen,
Yeah.
when you set up the pathways initially, was this person you're referring to, was she put in a position of authority to do exactly what you're asked to do now? Because that may not have changed when
She's
they
never
moved.
she's
Never?
never been a VP Ed, but she was president at one point,
Okay.
Hey,
So
long before Pathways
pathways
came
came
in.
in. Okay.
right.
So,
Okay. Well, and that may be the change that needs to take place because
yeah. Update Denver.
yeah,
Update.
yeah, that's where the problem is.
So
Okay,
Marion, I
well,
just would like to go back to and double check.
Yes.
Once I got that notice, that how do I check afterwards that that's been approved through Club Central? Where do I see that that's been
You
processed?
should get an email from
But I should,
Toastmasters. From
but I should,
Toastmasters.
I understand that, but I should
Or
be able to go in and check somewhere in Club Central. Should I not, to be able to see what's been,
the only
where
hack
people
I've
are?
been able to find for that is to go into Club Central
Mhm.
and act as though I were submitting something for approval and see what the current approved levels are.
Right.
oh,
With
okay.
your roster.
Yep. With the
So-
roster, it tells me what the current approved levels are.
That's right.
It doesn't tell me each project, just the level.
Just a level.
Listen, so those are great questions, and obviously we're still, pathways is still a work in progress
Oh, yes.
for some, and maybe because of its complexity, I don't know. Lamali, Penny, Jennifer, Dan, do you have Indra? Do you have any other questions for Marion?
Not at this
No,
point.
no, I don't have any questions. Apparently, I feel very happy that the system works exceedingly well when I have to approve for people.
Yep.
Once
I'm
I
so
learned that I
happy.
had to go, once I learned the little spot I had to go to put the little tick box, that was the only thing that hung me up the first couple of times. But since then, it's been a breeze.
Okay, good.
Good.
Lamali, you just started with Toastmasters, so do you have any questions in terms of, do you have any other questions? Maybe a one-to-one with Marion, huh?
Yes. Well, when I start things out, I think I'll have lots of questions, and I'm blessed that I'm with Marion.
You know where to find me.
Indra, do you have any questions?
No, I'm happy. Thank you, Marianne.
You're welcome, Indra.
Yes, it's my homepage. Actually, I fill my pathway already. I choose, but I had a problem for the resources finding. But I find it. If I not, I send you the email.
Okay. Dan, any questions?
No, I got in this because I'd asked Marion if she'd do one, so I sat in just to see what was new.
Okay, cool. All right.
And what is new is the 6th level, which doesn't have a number, but is separated out from level 5 where it used to be. That's what's new.
Have they come up with their new project? Because it was that they were just saying, oh, and there will be a special DTM kind of wraparound project, but they didn't know what it would be at the time.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Not yet, eh?
It's a reflect on your path at the end of each pathway, which is a 20-minute speech.
Okay, cool.
All right.
It's all new, right?
All right.
Right?
So, one participant actually just left. She came in a bit later, Marion, but she's from Ottawa Toastmasters, I believe. Shamia?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
so she said, thank you very much, but she already left.
Okay.
Well, listen, folks, I mean, it's 7:47 and it's not a jumbo jet. It's just time to actually, if there's to say goodbye if there's no other questions.
So
So
if I can sum up,
I have a question that probably doesn't have
Yes.
anything to do with
Oh, no.
with
Go ahead.
Toastmasters right now, but I just did a quick check because I have two monitors going here, and I've been not denied access to the Leadership Central. Now, has anyone else achieved that wonderful honor?
no.
Are you,
Okay,
but you're an executive, Percy?
I'm the VP of Education.
Yeah,
You should definitely have that.
No, I usually do. I'm wondering because we did
I-
not have elections this year. Is
I-
there?
I
That's-
did see on the Toastmasters International website that they're going to be shut down
Yeah, but that's
around
on,
about
that's on Friday.
Thursday, Friday
Yeah.
for a major update.
No, Percy,
Okay.
Percy, as a VP of Ed, you should have
Well-
access to Club Central, but you know, the officers, you may not have access to the district, but certainly for on the left side of Club Central, I think it's more for the club officers and all that stuff.
Once again,
and up
Percy,
until
if-
tonight, that was a true statement.
Okay.
but all of a sudden it's gone blank.
It's got access denied. Your selection is limited to the serving the current office leader of Toastmasters International. If you feel you've reached this message in error, please log out and log back in, which didn't work.
Get on the helpline with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To review, we've gone over the basics of pathways, using Basecamp, talked a little bit about the responsibilities of the Basecamp managers here. I've talked about what's new with the evaluations and where to find them, what extra resources are available to you, and we've gone through the questions and answers. That's my summary.
Okay. Well, and I am going to, do you want to stop